Now, bike tuning, a black art to some people. I'm on a blackbird. This one happens to be a yellow bird. But in fact, this has been tuned and breathed on. It's been bored out to 1200cc. It's got new cams, it's got slip-on cans, it's been dynajetted and gas flowed. Quite a neat bike. In fact, it's a very smooth running bike. What it's done is taken out that hole that you can get on a blackbird, about 70, 80 miles an hour. That's now gone, and you can go up to Gsxr miles an hour. But anyway, we're at TTS Tuning near Silverstone, and that's where this bike was tweaked. We're going to have a word with the owner and just see what tuning's all about, what is involved, and how you can make your bike go that little bit faster and a bit smoother. Richard, this titanium rod is a beautiful piece of work. I wouldn't mind it on my coffee table, actually. I mean, it's really nice to behold and sort of feel the thing, isn't it? But that's not the only titanium part that you'd use in an engine, would it? What other component parts can you use?
In a full race engine, such as the factory motors that we build, where money's not the object, then we'll use titanium conrods, we'll use titanium valves, titanium valve retainers, magnesium covers.
A lot of lightweight
all the lightweight parts, yeah, which the general racer won't be able to afford.
No. And how important is it on the valves then to, I see we've got a couple there. This one, that's the titanium, is it, as against the standard model?
That's right.
It's actually, you can feel it's heavier.
Although it's a very light component to start with, you still
right.
feel the difference. And it is, it's about 2/3 the weight, as we can show.
And what's the seat? I see there's no indentation either, it's just a flat top valve.
The idea is to get the optimum compression out of the engine, so by having a flat top valve, not only does it give more compression, but it gives a better combustion volume.
All right.
The shape of the chamber is much tidier.
Okay. And sort of weight-wise then, can you show us how operate your machine then? Show us the difference between the two.
It's a standard Suzuki valve at 20.8 grams.
Yeah.
And that comes in at 13.2.
Yeah.
So like I say, it's only 2/3 the weight. This enables the motor to rev much higher without stronger valve springs, so we're keeping the losses down in the engine to make the engine perform much better.
So much for engine lightening, but what about different stages of tune?
If somebody says they want a stage 1 tune, I generally accept that. They don't really want to do any serious tuning. They're just looking at external components that they bolt to the motorcycle, like an exhaust can, a different carburation setup, different air filters, things that make the engine breathe better, so perform accordingly.
But nothing dramatic?
Nothing dramatic, no. Not delving your hands into the engine, not pulling the engine apart. That way it keeps the cost down, it's a reliable form for the guy on the street, and it's very easy to put back to standard if he wants to sell the bike in the future. Stage 2, you're looking at getting some more compression out of the motor, so that means the top end of the engine has to be stripped. We skim the cylinder head, we slot the cam sprockets, build the motor back together, dial the camshafts in with more compression, and that's it. That's a stage 2.
Right.
If you go to stage 3, then you're looking for more than that. You're looking for a lot more power. So a big ball conversion is the ideal way to go for the guy on the street. Gives a lot more mid-range torque, which is acceleration, and it makes the bike all round more tractable because it's a bigger capacity. No substitute for cubes.
No, the old Americans say, I was going to say that. And then what next then? Where do you go to then?
Then you're looking at camshafts, gas flow in the cylinder head, and as the stages go on, the amount of horsepower you gain for the amount of work involved becomes less and less. So like when we've talked about the race motors, you put an awful lot of money in just to get the last edge of horsepower. Going to stage 4, you'd look at different carburetors and different filters and a full race exhaust system.
You mentioned gas flowing as part of a stage 3 tune. What does that actually involve? What is it?
Gas flowing is getting the most air through the port into the combustion chamber in the most efficient way. So it's not always the size of the port, it's the shape of the port.
Right. And is this a standard head? Have you done any work on this one yet?
No, this is totally standard head, and as you can see, the port shape is very good to start with. The finish on it, in my mind, is something to be desired. So we improve the finish on the port. We don't do a great deal to the shape of the port, but we do spend a lot of time in the valve area and where the valve seat sinks into the head and the combustion chamber.
Right. And then how do you know when you've got it right? Have you got any fancy computers or whatnot, or do you suck it and see?
There's a black art to porting gas flowing. We found that the only true test is on the dynamometer. Right. If we're making more power, we've done a good job. There's flow benches that are used. Flow benches don't simulate what's happening inside an engine, but they do give a good indication to how much flow is going through the valve.
Right, but it's not the same as running it up to peak rev.
No.
So it's quite a job, isn't it? You do that, and then you have to literally assemble the engine, run it up, and think, oh, we haven't quite got that right, and strip it down again.
That's right.
Yeah? This is where your experience comes in.
That's right. With the factory engines this year on the 750 Suzukis, we spent 2 weeks just dyno testing and porting.
Did you?
Just to get the optimum out of the cylinder head.
And if you've taken too much out, it starts again.
You throw it away.
Now, if you're not into heavy tuning mods, you can still have bolt-on power with a nice little nitrous oxide kit. For £450, you can have 60 brake horsepower at the touch of a button. A nitrous kit gets you extra oxygen into the engine from a rechargeable bottle and lots of braided hoses. If that's the gas, what about the bangs? A fully adjustable electronic ignition system giving you control over the timing and rev limits will give you 3 to 5 brake and cost you around £300. Machining components is a high-tech business too, so computer control kit is the order of the day, and it's not just for engines.
Richard mentioned chassis components, and this is one of them. There's a standard Suzuki top yoke off a 1200 Bandit. Here's the CNC machine one. All the milling marks left on there to look super trick, and as you can see, nicely hollowed out there. Much heftier as well. Really looks the business. But he's a modest guy. What he didn't tell me about is these other components as well. You see this big block of alloy here? They actually machine out of there fuel injection throttle bodies. You can see a set there. Each one of those is milled out of the solid. But just parking that for a while, see this great big block of aluminium there? Out of that, you get a new block. Look at that. What a beautiful piece of work. Another coffee table ornament. But there's a lightweight one. No liquid cooling on that one. That would be for a drag bike. And just to compare it, here's the standard Suzuki one, complete with the water jackets, all black and not looking half as pretty. But now we've had a look at that, they've also got a very, very tasty Gsxr 750 Suzuki, and I'm going to have a look at that next. Well, Dave Hagan here, he's the workshop manager, and this beautiful Suzuki is his little project. Been a project for 12 months or so, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a long runner.
But tell us, starting with the engine, what is so special about this one?
Well, it's basically everything a 97 Superbike was, except that it's 800cc. So it produces similar kind of levels of horsepower in terms of peak horsepower, but with lots more grunt, more torque.
Yeah, and and you were saying earlier when we were chatting, this will actually detuned a bit for sort of pump petrol as well.
Yeah, that's right. We have to back off the compression a little bit because the race machines run on super high octane racing fuels. Yeah, which obviously
you can't get at your local petrol
station. That's right. Yes.
So, and what else? And you've got into a lot of chassis mods as well. So take us through from the front end. I can see lots of trick bits just sort of staring me in the face.
Yeah, well, just about everything on the bike has been modified, but starting from the ground up, if you like. Yeah. It runs a set of lightweight magnesium wheels. The suspension has been changed both front and rear. The front end runs a set of White Power Roma forks. All the bodywork is carbon fibre. There's a lot of factory parts on it. Most of the headlight cluster, the meter assembly, that's all factory endurance stuff from Suzuki. Obviously a lot of one-off stuff that we've had to manufacture ourselves. The radiator, for instance, is a direct copy of the factory item.
Is it?
But instead of paying the factory in excess of £8,000 for their item, we've manufactured our own for a fraction of the cost.
But still mega money though.
Still a lot of money in normal people's terms, yes.
Yeah. And what you were saying earlier, the clip-on bars are one-offs as well. It's almost all. It looks the same, but it's almost all one-offs, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of thought gone into trying to save weight where we can. Yeah. Make things stronger where they need to be. Lighter where we can get away with it. The all-up dry weight of the bike is a little under 164 kilos, which is
super light.
A significant weight saving over stock. Yeah. And only 2 kilos higher than the World Superbike regulation weight.
It's absolutely amazing. And one of the things is this beautiful piece of work, this tank, which I didn't know until you told me, but aluminium.
Yes, handcrafted from aluminium. It's again, it's a copy of the factory item, which is significantly more expensive and made from pure unobtainium. Yeah. Again, it's just all in the pursuit of making something that's the ultimate Gsxr for the road, if you like.
That's right, with aircraft fasteners and all the rest of it. It's brilliant.
There's a lot of effort's been put into making it as light as possible and as pretty as well. Although the paintwork is a little understated, some would say, I think it suits the bike well.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it nearly matches my suit. So does it go as good as it looks?
Oh, it goes better than it looks.
Oh, does it? Oh, in that case, I'll take it out for a quick spin if that's all right.
Oh,
okay, and I'll be back sometime later today.
Go on then.
Thanks, Dave.
Now, the lanes around Silverstone are not best suited to a highly strung 180 mile an hour bike like this. It's like having red rum and a milk round. But even in this short run, the urgency in the 800cc motor was there all right. Champing at the bit, it was a good job that the brakes and suspension matched the potential of this £30,000 superbike. Given its head on the open road, I've no doubt that this very special Suzuki will be absolutely electrifying.